Good day, everyone. Welcome to our daily news roundup. We strive to keep you updated and informed, bringing you the most significant news from across the United States. In a world where events unfold at a rapid pace, staying connected is more crucial than ever. It's our job to sift through the noise and bring you the details that matter. So let's gear up for an engaging discussion on the day's top stories. Stay tuned as we dive into the top stories making headlines on this 28th day of January 2024. Without further ado, let's get started with our headline news. From the East Coast, we have a breakthrough in sustainable energy solutions, with a new technology promising to revolutionize our approach to renewable resources. Over in the Midwest, a gripping tale of community resilience unfolds as locals band together to restore their town after a devastating natural disaster. Switching gears to politics, Capitol Hill is abuzz with a landmark bill aimed at reshaping the nation's education system. Advocates argue it's a game changer, but critics aren't so sure. Meanwhile, on the West Coast, the tech industry is in a tizzy with the unexpected merger of two tech giants, shaking up Silicon Valley and leaving many to wonder what this means for the future of innovation. Lastly, in international news, U.S. diplomats are making strides in peace talks with a long-standing adversary, signaling a potential shift in foreign relations. In the next segments, we'll delve deeper into each of these stories. Moving on to our first story of the day. Today, the United States is buzzing with a landmark decision that has just been handed down by the Supreme Court. This decision is a significant one, impacting the lives of millions of Americans, and it's important to understand why. The case at hand revolved around the issue of digital privacy rights. In an era where our lives are increasingly intertwined with the digital world, the question of how much of our online lives should be private has become a hot-button issue. The court has ruled in favor of stronger digital privacy protections, marking a major win for privacy advocates. This decision is a game-changer for many reasons. Firstly, it sets a precedent for future cases relating to digital privacy. This means that moving forward, courts will have to consider this ruling when making decisions about similar issues. This could potentially lead to a shift in how privacy laws are interpreted and implemented across the country. Secondly, this ruling impacts not just individuals, but also businesses and organizations. Companies that deal with consumer data will now have to reevaluate their data collection and privacy policies. This could lead to more stringent data protection measures, ultimately benefiting consumers by providing them with greater control over their personal data. Finally, this decision sends a signal to the rest of the world. As a global leader in technology and digital innovation, the U.S. often sets the tone for how other nations approach these issues. By taking a stand for digital privacy, the U.S. is potentially influencing other countries to follow suit. However, it's crucial to note that while this ruling is a step forward for privacy rights, it's just the beginning. There's much more work to be done in order to ensure that our digital lives are adequately protected. It's a complex issue that requires ongoing conversation and continual reassessment. That wraps up our first story. Next, we move on to our second headline. Now, let's turn our attention to the second story. In the heart of America's Midwest, a technological breakthrough is changing the face of agriculture. Scientists at the University of Illinois have developed a new method of crop cultivation that promises to increase yields by as much as 50%. This innovative technique, known as precision farming, uses advanced data analytics to optimize plant growth. The main points to note here are the implications this could have on food security and the potential economic impact. Let's delve a little deeper. The researchers at the university have created a system that uses drones and ground sensors to collect data on soil conditions, weather patterns, and plant health. This information is then analyzed to determine the optimum conditions for growth for each individual plant. The result is a significant increase in crop yield and a reduction in wasted resources. But what does this mean for the average American? Well, in simple terms, more food and potentially lower prices. The increased yield could help to stabilize food prices and ensure a steady supply of staple crops. This could be a game changer for families struggling with rising living costs. On a larger scale, the economic implications are also substantial. The U.S. agriculture industry contributes approximately $1 trillion to the national economy each year. A 50% increase in crop yields could add billions to this figure, boosting the economy and creating job opportunities in rural areas. However, it's not all rosy. Critics argue that the high cost of implementing precision farming could exclude small-scale farmers, potentially leading to increased corporate farming and a loss of biodiversity. they also question the environmental impact of increased drone usage. Despite these concerns, the potential benefits of precision farming are undeniable. It's a clear demonstration of how technology can be harnessed to address some of the world's most pressing issues. With that, we conclude our second story. Up next is our third headline. Our third story of the day takes us to the heart of Silicon Valley, where innovation is the name of the game. A new startup has emerged, promising to revolutionize the way we live, work, and play. This company, aptly named Tomorrow's Tech, has recently unveiled its ambitious plans to create a fully integrated digital environment, a concept they call the Living Network. The Living Network, as described by Tomorrow's Tech, is a seamless blend of physical and digital realities. It's envisioned as a digital ecosystem that interacts with us in real time, augmenting our everyday experiences. Imagine your refrigerator reminding you to buy milk, or your car suggesting the quickest route to your favorite restaurant based on real-time traffic data. The possibilities, it appears, are endless. The significance of this development lies not just in the novelty of the idea, but in its potential to redefine the way we interact with technology. In a world where we're increasingly dependent on our devices, the Living Network could lead to a future where technology is no longer a separate entity, but an integral part of our lives. It could change how we engage with our homes, our cities, and each other. However, as with any technological leap, there are concerns. Privacy is a major issue, with critics questioning how much personal data will be collected and how it will be used. Tomorrow's Tech has assured that user privacy is a top priority, but only time will tell how these concerns are addressed. There's also the question of accessibility. Will this new technology be affordable and easy to use for everyone, or will it widen the digital divide? These are questions that Tomorrow's Tech and similar companies will need to address as they move forward. That brings us to the end of our third story. Stay right where you are as we have one more story to discuss. And now, on to our final story of the day. In a surprising turn of events, the U.S. Department of Education has announced a significant policy change. In an effort to bridge the achievement gap, the department has declared that it will provide additional funding to underperforming schools across the nation. This decision comes after a comprehensive year-long study that identified the correlation between school funding and student performance. The study found that schools with lower financial resources often struggled to provide quality education, leading to poor student performance. The department's new policy aims to level the playing field by ensuring that all schools have equal access to resources. This includes funding for teacher salaries, student programs, and infrastructure upgrades. The move has been applauded by educators and parents alike, who believe that it could be a game changer in the world of education. However, it's not all applause. Critics argue that simply throwing money at the problem won't solve the underlying issues. They point to the need for a holistic approach that includes better teacher training, curriculum reform, and engagement with parents and the community. But the Department of Education is standing firm on its decision. They argue that funding is a crucial first step in addressing the achievement gap, and they're committed to monitoring the results closely to ensure the money is used effectively. What makes this story important? It's not just about the numbers or the policy change. It's about the potential impact on millions of students across the country. It's about giving every child, regardless of their zip code or socioeconomic status, a fair shot at a quality education. And it's about the future of our nation, because education is the bedrock upon which we build our society. And that concludes our final story for today. That's all for today's news roundup. We've covered a range of significant stories, from the impactful legislation passed in Washington to the poignant human interest piece from the Heartland. We've explored the latest tech innovations and delved into the critical environmental issues we face. These stories remind us of the ever-changing world we live in and underscore the importance of staying informed. Thank you for joining us. Stay informed, stay safe, and we'll see you in the next video.